Good evening, boys and girls, and other things, and not evenings, whatever. People who watch. This is another scene in the living world of darkness, made from the ashes. And there's been a lot of developments in the Chantry of late, but most recently, they lost an esteemed leading member of the Chantry, and in return, they have gotten a new member of the Chantry to take his place, Adriana, Warrior Priestess of the Verbena, and specifically the Morgan, and has moved in, and she's already started. She's already shown that she's very comfortable sharing her opinions on the board, based on her most recent little board notice. And so today she's actually for once in the common room and not on the rooftop garden or in her own personal chambers. She is, as usual, dressed in a cloak made out of raven feathers and like dark pants and a vest and stuff. So she's ready. She seems to be ready for fighting. She has like a hip quiver with arrows, all tipped with raven feathers, of course. So
Yeah. So Nausicaa has kind of vaguely heard of this person. She's seen her thing. She's probably scowled furiously at the notice board when she saw it. But she will walk in, and she's coming home from work. And she will walk in, and she will just see this person and just look at her. She's in like the common room?
yeah, she's in the common room. She seems to be looking over some maps on the common room table. He turns to look at Nausicaa. This very pale faced woman can just easily deadpan compete with Nausicaa. It's like,
Nausicaa just looks away and walks to her room and puts her stuff in her room, and then comes out and starts preparing stuff in the kitchen. And by that I mean heating up cold microwave Lee's food.
so I presume that you are Nausicaa of the Order of Hermes, correct?
No, incorrect. My name is Athena Amaryllis, Bani Fortunae ad Ordo Hermeticum.
Ah, yes, that.
Yes.
In the end, that's what I've heard purple people call you here.
That's what my friends call me. You will call me Athena. I've earned the right.
As a tradition mage, I will respect your condition. Anyway, I heard that you were participating in the first attempt at getting revenge for the murder of my predecessor here.
Your predecessor?
Yes. Boris, the one who was unfortunately killed. I need to take his place, at least temporarily, and help guide this Chantry to assist Verbena in extracting our vengeance on these Yoms Vikings.
I was not aware that the Vibana had a place here. I simply thought Boris was here of his own accord.
Boris was here because this is an asset. Like all assets, like all groups, we do want to keep an eye on an asset, especially when it's in the middle of such a stronghold of the technocracy as this is.
So, how are you going to help us?
Well, for one, I'm going to help shore up the defenses of this Chantry, as I find them to be lacking in certain respects.
You should speak to one of our members. He's not a tradition mage yet, but he is the one that is in charge of the defenses of this Chantry. You should see if you could help him with anything.
Who would this be?
His name is Alec.
Is he useful, or is he pointless?
He is a member of our cabal.
Yes. And as it happens, this cabal has been very diligent in recruiting among the strays of New York, as far as I've understood it.
We were all strays at one point.
Indeed.
But he has fought against the Union.
Good. That means that might be of some use here. You know of his aspirations when it comes to revolutions. I have more frequent contact with the outside world than I think several in here have. I can assist those who need to seek out traditions to join and get proper education, be properly educated.
Good. I assume you know of Grace. She wants to join your tradition.
I've already talked to her. As she failed her previous task, she will be given a new one by my superiors when we feel that the time is right for her to do so.
Can I speak bluntly to you? I'm actually unfamiliar of how the ranking works between the various traditions.
No?
I know we must respect knowledge.
Of course. But it's very understandable that you are unfamiliar with it, as most traditions judge these things differently. Your Order of Hermes has a very complex system of hierarchy, while others, like the Virtual Adepts, have a very loose one.
It may seem complex to you. I understand it perfectly.
Oh, I'm not saying that it's hard that you can't understand it. I'm saying that it's more elaborate than others, while the Virtual Adepts seem to have a sort of not to be. Well, they are doing virtual dick swinging to prove themselves. Just scoffs. Now, not to say that I'm disapproving of using the tools of the modern world. I just feel that several virtual adepts are obnoxious in how they do it. Anyway.
Well, you should know that I'm a rank 6 within the Order of Hermes. I have achieved journeyman status in several spheres.
Yes.
So, are you my superior?
Yes. I've achieved mastery of 2 spheres. So we can end the conversation there. Now,
may I ask which spheres? Out of curiosity.
Of course, curiosity is always allowed.
I assume your tradition's seat?
Yes. I have mastered forces and life, specifically.
Ars Vitae.
That's your name for it.
Yes. Well, it is good to know you were here.
How long I stay is dependent on the severity of the task. I have noticed that these enemies of ours seem to be more dangerous than initially expected, based on what I've gotten from Grace. You were the one who tried to attack one of them with a forces attack, I believe. That is correct?
You are correct.
And I heard that they grabbed it out of the air.
I can assure you whatever kind of trickery they have does not reflect upon Hermetic's ability to manipulate Ars Primus.
No, that I didn't suggest either. I was just saying that if someone can grab a journeyman hermetics attack and toss it back at them, it's more dangerous than expected. In addition, that they are complete homicidal maniacs. In addition to that, that's also not a fortunate combination.
Yes. What he did was not physically possible.
Yet he did.
Yet he did. Also, I did not see eye to eye with Boris, and he did not like me much, I think. But he was a tradition mage. It is our duty to extract vengeance and show this city that they cannot trifle with us.
Indeed. That's exactly the point. Vengeance in these situations are important, especially when it's with upstarts.
Yes. Do you have any information on them?
No.
Without associating you with them, they seem to be, well, old European, which I
Yeah,
think fits the Vabana MO.
we're more than that. But no, I mean, we know about the historical realities of the group. We know that there was at one point a semi-legendary holy mercenary group, or more of a mercenary group that were staunchly pagan, called the Jomsvikings, Vikings, who were famous back in the end of the Viking Age. But that's all. There's never been any mention of them having any supernatural abilities or any knowledge of the greater truths of the world. That's the problematic part here. I don't like new enemies, because we already have too many in this city.
We do.
And based on what I've been told about some of the exploits here, that's just in regards to this ranch, there seems to be an air of recklessness that might not be entirely too prudent when surrounded by enemies and under siege.
The Cabal's methods have been effective so far. We live in a city beset by the technocracy, yet
Yeah.
we're in the position of undermining them.
You are in the position of undermining them. But I've heard there's been a few close calls, put it mildly, of late. And I have a question. There is two creatures in here. Both of them with life patterns that are unfortunately unfamiliar to me. I've seen them. One of which looks human, except for the eyes and the hair, and one who looks like a bipedal lizard. Can you explain that? Are they familiars?
They're aliens.
Just her eyebrows just goes up a bit, and she just like, after that. Well,
They are, for the moment, under the protection of the Cabal. We are attempting to help them leave this planet.
well then, I will not put them. It's not related to my mission here. So your Cabal is free to do as it will with them, as long as it doesn't endanger the rule of shades more than I already heard that it has been of late.
The fight has been difficult recently.
Yes.
We seem to encounter new forces every day. We're used to combating the Union. My methods are not so effective against these people. They don't seem to care about the Laura Shade, even if we do.
Well, I've heard or seen reports indicating that you've been able to track them to an area in Queens, at least.
Yes, we have. We want to do more surveillance, though. As you say, they're homicidal and they appear to have the ability to counter our direct assaults. So I don't think assaulting them directly is the correct answer for now.
Nor do we have numbers to immediately do that.
No.
As they seem to be based on what I've heard, they seem to be quite numerous.
It is strange. There are at least 20 or 30 of them. At least.
Which is an unfortunate number to deal with, even if we have powerful magic on our side.
Boris had powerful magic on his side.
Yes. You remember that even the most powerful mage can be defeated through trickery and deception. Betrayal, of course. One of them could have ambushed him. It doesn't not given him the chance to use any of his magic, and that's really all that you need. big enough morphine syringe, and no mage will be able to counter it. Sorry. If you inject someone with a big enough morphine needle, it will morphine syringe. You will not be able to counter it. There, I said properly. Yeah.
I understand. We have certain protocols that we have used against the Union. We are not so sure about this new enemy.
Well, that's also why I'm here, to try and help you develop the new protocols that we can use to fight these enemies. And to do that, as you said, we need more surveillance and we need more information.
We do. I do have one request.
Ask.
The Cabal that is here, even though many of them are not tradition mages, we all aspire to be. We follow the protocols as best we can,
Yes.
and we operate democratically. We vote on things. We all have our own responsibilities. There is a delicate equilibrium and social ecosystem that has been set up. I would ask that you do not endanger this.
I will not endanger anything. As I said, my purpose is not to join the Cabal. My purpose is to serve as in an advisory capacity, and as an emissary for my tradition. If members of your Cabal are unwilling or unable to help, I've only pointed out that it will potentially lead to their membership applications being more difficult for them to get through. As the traditions only accept members who are willing to participate in the Ascension War in whatever capacity they can.
So far, everybody has.
Well, that's clear. Now, you are a hermetic, so I presume you have a spreadsheet somewhere regarding the capabilities of the different people in this chantry. I want you to tell me about them. What are their strengths?
I don't need a spreadsheet. I have an extraordinary memory.
Even better.
Well, there is Ava, my fellow Hermetic, although we are not in the same house. She is in House Shea. I am in House Fortunae.
Yes.
Ava is one of the most skilled mages. She's been here from the inception of the Cabal. She is adept with forces, although she rarely uses it aggressively. She is also adept in Ars Temporis, as well as Ars Spiritus. Apologies for the layman. That is the spirit of.
I am perfectly aware of what those terms refer to. Continue.
She is highly capable. She is our emissary and ambassador to the other supernaturals within this city. Due to her political skill. Then we have.
Weaknesses.
Pardon?
What is her weaknesses?
Her weaknesses? None. She's a member of the Order of Hermes. We do not cultivate.
Everyone has a weakness, and it's important for me to know what they are, not her personal foibles or dramas, but to figure out if there's anywhere she's lacking, so that I don't endanger her life or put her in a situation which would be unfortunate.
I do not think it would be honorable for me to speak on such things. You should speak to her about that yourself.
I will.
Then we have Theo. He is an ex-policeman. As far as I understand, he is skilled with entropy and forces and spirit. He is our Gladius, a position we have created to lead missions outside the Chantry.
Excellent. I will. Why wasn't the Gladius consulted before the attack, or was he?
We acted quickly. Sometimes the Gladius is not around. He has a job and he has other duties.
Let's see. Now, he is how powerful is he? Beyond being a policeman, I mean.
He killed a hit mark.
Impressive.
Yes. Then we have Julie, who I believe is our third tradition member. She has joined the Akashic Brotherhood. She has overcome her addiction to psychedelic drugs.
Good.
And she can do backflips very well. I believe she has a wide variety of spheres under her abilities.
And
Then there is Kat.
yes.
I have seen her use, although she has not been around much recently, I have seen her use forces and spirit. She is temperamental, but I would rather have her on our side of a fight than be against her. There is a member of the Chantry I have not seen for a few weeks called Damien. He rejects modern technology, although he calls himself a scientist.
That's an interesting combination if I've ever heard one.
Yes. Although I will admit that when we rescued him from the technocracy's clutches, he had a very innovative, if primitive, weapon, but it proved very effective. Then there is Grace, who I'm sure you know.
I've talked to her.
Although it is not my tradition and not really my concern. From what I have seen of her and what Boris has said about her, she does seem a good fit for your tradition. She believes in nature, the natural order of things, and she is skilled with life.
In time, she might be ready. So far, she's not. But I think she will do well.
Then there is Alec. He is, well, from what I understand, he is a fairly prototypical virtual adept.
Uh-huh.
Although his abilities with information technology do not rival mine, one day they may.
Is he a sexist?
Sexist?
I wanted to know because I've dealt with several new virtual adepts that sometimes fall into that category at the start, and it gets very tedious to deal with. I hope that one of those.
I'm not aware of such a prejudice. He has not displayed it.
Excellent, and we don't have to deal with that.
And I think that's it. Of character, Nolzik has left herself out.
Well then, I think that is not a too unusual list of members. We should be able to. I think you should all be able to work well on this.
Have I left anyone out? Have I forgotten about anybody? Oh, yeah, I have. There's another one, Rika. We believe that one of her family members may have been part of the Order of Hermes from one of the books she managed to escape the Union with. She has proved willing. Sorry. He has proved willing, but I've not seen that much of him. I do know that he at least has some level of application of forces.
Indeed.
There have been other members, but they have either left to join a tradition or have fallen victim to the Ascension War.
As it happens. Now.
Then there is Tasha, who is a member of the Virtual Adepts. She's downstairs.
Yes.
There is Lee, who owns the place, who...
Acquaintance.
Oh, good. Have you met the Guardian Spirit of the Chantry yet?
I sensed it before I stepped in through the doors. I've already made arrangements with it. Even though spirits aren't my speciality. I focus more on the physical world than the spiritual.
Me too.
I do have some knowledge of the spirits, and enough to be able to at least enter Umbra if I ever have to.
Well, as far as I'm aware, that's everybody.
How many of them have combat experience, and how many of them are unblooded?
All of us have some level of combat experience, as far as I'm aware.
Yes, but I mean more than just running away from the Union and potentially self-defense. I mean, how many have killed?
She thinks. I do not believe Alec or Rika have. Aside from that, many of us have taken out technocratic agents, among them hit marks, spirits. She considers for a moment. Yes.
Wow. She rises up now. I'm going to have to start gathering more information for us, or at least find somewhere we can more easily strike from, as we don't have much. We don't have any holdings in Queens at the moment, but I do think I have found something over there that we might start as an easier target before we move in on the greater enemy.
If we need holdings in Queens, I could easily purchase some.
Yes, that is of course a possibility, but I was more referring to we should get we should get more of the unblooded members more fit. I don't want them to rush into battle against homicidal maniacs and be blood eagles before they've been of use.
No, I agree.
And as it happens, we also need more information, and I've been able to locate a place which is going to be not which is an information nodule. I think is what would be the best as you call it, where we can take it by force to get the information it might contain and give more of the members of this chantry more combat experience.
What kind of information nodule?
Oh, I will reveal that when I know more about it, which is what I'm going to go out and find out.
Is there anything you require while you were in the city?
Oh no, I have everything I require for now. But I think we will be able. I think when I will require something, I will make it myself. But thank you for the hospitality. And with that, she is going, instead of walking out towards the edge, she's going to walk up towards the roof.
Nausicaa watches her go. It's quite clear that Nausicaa's not.
She's not a fan. There was a bitch off here.
There was definitely a bit of dick waving and a bit of a bitch off. And yeah, she'll watch her go and she'll grumble something.
New people
Coming in and being all archmagey. And yeah, with that, I think we can call it a scene. Nausicaa doesn't really want to do anything else.
Yep, I think so too. Thank you, player for playing, and thank you, watchers, for watching.